Hello learners, welcome back to my channel. I am Karishma Attar and this is video number 6 in an essential series of how IGCSE Global Perspective responses are marked by Cambridge Examiner. And today we are conquering question 2B, the Research Design Challenge worth 8 marks. And this is where students either prove they can think like a real researcher or fall out into the classic method description trap. So after watching this video, you are going to master 1. The Cambridge method evidence formula, that is how to explain both research methods and the specific evidence they produce for maximum marks. 2. The research focus connection strategy, that is how to link every method directly to testing the exact claim for credibility points. 3. The wide range technique, that is how to propose multiple credible research approaches rather than just describing one method. Students who apply this structured approach typically gain 5 to 6 marks extra on question 2B, double of which is approximately a jump by 1 grade, that is C to B, B to A, just from knowing how examiners mark you. Over this 12 video series, we will break down every single question type. I have already made videos on question 1A and B, question 1C, question 1D, question 2A, and now we are on question 2B. Once you subscribe to this channel, you will also be notified for question 3, question 4, and also a detailed, complete breakdown for individual report and team project. This is a dedicated channel for Cambridge IGCSE and O-levels learners who wants to get top grades in their subjects. So each video will show you real student examples, actual Cambridge marking, and the exact techniques that works. So now let me tell you about a student named Marcus. He was a talented year 11 student who came to me frustrated after consistently scoring level 1 to 2 marks on question 2B. Marcus said, I know about different methods like surveys, interviews, observations, but when I write about testing claims, I always get 2 to 3 marks out of 8. And I'm not knowing what examiner actually wants, why my answer doesn't connect with the methods to research focus. Then he showed me his latest practice answer for testing whether most people enjoy growing food on their own, and his response was, to test this claim, researcher could use surveys because they can collect lots of data quickly. We could also use interviews to get detailed responses. Observations would be good to see what people actually do. These are all reliable research methods that would give useful results. The result was 3 marks out of 8. And I could see Marcus knew research methods, but he was missing the Cambridge method evidence focus formula. And here's how I transformed his approach. So I showed Marcus the actual Cambridge marking criteria for question 2B, and it revealed exactly what examiners want. Cambridge states candidates are expected to explain a range of research methods and the evidence they would produce to help answer whether most people enjoy growing their own food for level 4. Explain clearly a wide range of methods and evidence that are credible and linked to the research focus. The crucial elements here are methods and evidence plus link to research focus. Cambridge doesn't want generic method descriptions. They want focused research design. And let me break down what each level actually demands. Level 1 says, may describe research methods but don't connect to testing this specific claim. Level 2, that is 3 to 4 marks, methods or evidence described but only partly related to testing the claim. Level 3 talks about range of methods and evidence that are linked to the research focus. Level 4, that is wide range of credible methods and evidence that clearly link to the testing whether most people enjoy growing food. So Marcus was stuck at level 2 because he was describing methods generically, not designing research specifically to test this claim about most people's enjoyment. So what I taught Marcus was what I call the Cambridge method evidence formula for a level 4 response. The 4-step process. Method selection, choose methods appropriately for testing enjoyment among most people. 2. Evidence specification, explain exactly what data evidence each method would produce. 3. Show how the evidence specifically tests the claim about enjoyment. And 4. The credibility justification, that is explain why this method evidence combination is reliable for this research goal. So here's how Marcus transformed his answer using this formula. Marcus's level 4 response was, to test whether most people enjoy growing food, Researchers should conduct representative surveys across diverse demographics, asking rated questions about gardening satisfaction and pleasure levels. This would generate numerical data showing what percentage of the population reports enjoying gardening activities, enabling researchers to determine if it truly represents most people. The quantitative nature directly addresses the most people aspect of the claim by providing measurable percentages of enjoyment across the population. The researchers could track individuals' gardening behavior over time, measuring frequency, duration, and voluntary participation in growing activities. This would produce behavioral evidence of sustained engagement, showing whether people continue gardening voluntarily, a strong indicator of genuine enjoyment. And the focus connection, behavioral persistence over time provides more reliable evidence of true enjoyment in a single response survey, as people typically abandon activities they do not genuinely enjoy. Researchers could compare reported satisfaction level between gardening and other leisure activities using standardized enjoyment scale. These would generate comparative data showing whether gardening ranks high among preferred activities when measured against alternatives people choose for pleasure. Combining quantitative surveys for breadth and behavioral tracking for authenticity and comparative analysis for context creates triangulated evidence that credibly tests whether gardening enjoyment characterizes most people rather than just interested ones. Now let me tell you one simple thing, even the vocabulary is high, that is okay, but you have to follow the strategy at whichever level you are in terms of the vocab. Result was 8 on 8 marks, and now you have to notice how Marcus level 4 answer constantly circles back to the specific claim being tested. And this is the focus connection that Cambridge is demanding. Now, when I have to talk about focus connection framework, you have to follow these rules. 1, identify the specific claim elements, that is most people plus enjoy plus growing food. 2, design methods to test each element. That how do you measure most? How do you assess enjoy? And how do you define growing food? 3, explain how each method addresses these elements. That is, connect method, evidence, and claim components. And 4, justify why this approach is credible. Why would this evidence prove or disprove the claim? So every method you propose must explicitly address how it helps determine whether this specific claim is true or false. I'll also talk about wide range technique that I mentioned at the start of the video. The difference between level 3 and level 4 is that wide range requirement by Cambridge. Cambridge wants multiple complementary research approaches. That is, level 2 or 3 ranges, surveys and interviews would be useful methods. Level 4, that is wide range, quantitative method is large-scale surveys, statistical analysis. Qualitative method, that is in-depth interviews, focus groups. Behavioral methods will be like observation, participation tracking, and comparative methods are satisfaction ranking, alternative activity comparison, so on and so forth. The rate strategy over here is choose different data types, that is numbers, that how many, words, why and how, and action, what they do. 2, address different aspects, that is population breadth, individual depth, behavioral evidence, and consider different time frames, current opinions, historical patterns, future intentions, so on and so forth. Also include credibility checks, that is cross-validation, bias controls, and representative sampling. So this is how you can work on improving your grades in your IGCSE Global Perspective. And now, if you can think of only one method, you are probably not thinking deeply enough about the research challenge. So that is what you should be taking care of. Most importantly, why you do any global perspective question, you have to focus on practicing using the right strategy. Simply practicing rewriting the answer won't fetch you more marks. But understanding the strategy, learning how to utilize it, understanding the framework, and practicing over a period of time with the right usage of vocabulary will eventually get you good grades. And that is what I have included in my A-Star Legacy program for Cambridge learners. We not only take care of global perspective, but all the subjects for Cambridge and O-level learners. For more details, check the details given in the description. Until then, see you next time.